20s. Hey, we're live. Awesome. Good to be back from Dubai. It was a very interesting week. Token 2049, SUI Basecamp. We got Abraham in the chat here, and we're gonna catch up on all things. And yeah, things are good right now. Things are really good. I'm still kind of bearish on a lot of projects, so you got to be careful. So I want to go over some lessons I learned in previous bull cycles because that seems to be what's happening. Money is getting printed and you want to position yourself accordingly. So we're going to go over some of those lessons. Josh is going to join us momentarily. Just waiting for some technical issues. So, we got Sid here. Sid, what's up? Man, Sid was a hard worker. You could hear it in his voice at Basecamp. We did an interview with him. More will be published later. Oh, we got Josh. Josh made it in the stream. Josh, what's up? You're merched out right now. Full merched out. We got the full Josh experience. Yes. Oh man, volume is a little low. Let me also get my earbuds.
Turn it up.
So hold down the stream.
All right, I'll hold it down. What up, everybody? Y'all hear me okay? Let me know in the chat. Hold on, let me just turn up my mic real quick. I'll be out of words trying to sum it up. Let's see here. Just changing my mic settings real quick. Bear with me. I always drop into the stream like a little bit late, like surprise. What up, everybody? Oh, Josh is here, and then Dan goes ahead and lets me in. I'm just fixing my volume. Let me know, Dan, how I'm.
There we go. Hello.
Better? I didn't really. You hear me?
Testing. Okay. All right. Yeah. So I was saying, Sid lost his voice at Basecamp just before the day. He had to talk the whole time. So, wow, he was out there. He was hustling. He was making things happen. Oh man, hold on. Playback issue on YouTube. Let me see.
Again.
Let me refresh. Make sure we're still live streaming on YouTube. Josh, are you talking? I can't hear you if you are.
You can't hear me at all.
Oh, I can't hear you.
How's this?
Maybe check your mic setting. It might have reset.
How's this?
Oh, am I just not hearing him? Is this just me?
Sounds good, William.
I see.
Referring to me?
Hold on. Microphone. Let me just check my settings.
Token 2049.
Audio input. Audio output. I'm not set. That's right. Okay. Can you say something, Josh?
Testing 1, 2, 3. What up?
There we go. Okay, one more test. That went to the speakers, not the. There we go. All right, we're back in it and we're rolling.
How you hear me? How am I sounding? How's my audio?
The audio is good. Maybe the network is a little slow. I'm not sure if that's on my side. Let's get some feedback from people. Sweet Drip is cool. Man, I gotta say, that is the most comfortable shirt I have. The Sweet shirt.
Oh man. This shirt is so cozy. Sweet came correct with all this stuff, like the attention to detail with all the merch and everything that they gave us, from how everything matches. I'm gonna show you guys. You see,
dude, you're the Sweet Kage right now.
Yeah, Sweet Kage.
Yeah.
So I'm a super Sweetin. What they call it, Sweetin.
Yeah. Oh man.
I want to grab my little bag. Where I put that little bag?
Like, I'm not kidding here. Like the quality of the shirt. I know it's gonna sound super biased since I'm bullish on Sweet, but I've said it before. They really put effort into the quality of the products that they give out, so you remember them, and that works. That works really well, especially in the desert heat when you're sweating. It just didn't get sweaty. It didn't hold any of that sweat in.
No, it's so cool. It's super like, it's comfortable. And talk about branding and just recognition. You see how they came? I love how the bag they gave us matches the shirt with like the fade. You see how it fades into it.
Mhm.
Matches the lanyard, matches everything, real cool. And the project even gave me these glasses here that even match
That's
as well.
nice.
I'll throw these on. As you can see, that you have the full.
Was that
Now the sweet
Lofi?
Kage. Now the sweet Kage right here. As you
Yeah,
said,
yeah, full on, maximum
sweet
sweet
Kage.
right now.
I'm gonna take these off before it gets clipped up. But yeah. So damn, man, we're fresh from Dubai. We just got back, just got settled in. Huge, crazy crypto week. We were at Token 2049. We're at SUI Basecamp. We're at side events. Soaking it all in. How was your experience in Dubai? Your feedback now that you kind of
Overall, amazing. The events were great. The panels. Let's say if we're looking at Token 2049, there could be some improvements. Like the venue isn't the best for high traffic, where it's not easy to drop off and pick up people just because there's that small window to drop them off. There's that big light intersection outside, and it's not the most efficient place for it.
Yeah.
But the venue is really nice. We want to criticize them constructively so they can host an even better event so all attendees can have a good time. Now, the one thing though, remember the entrance at Token 2049? They sold the hallway, man. You can't be selling the hallway. It was so hard to get in and out. That had to be like a fire hazard with that many people.
That had to be the most busy conference of all time. I had one conference where we couldn't move, just going from one section to another, transitioning from where they're serving food, the exhibition halls to like the panels and stages.
Right.
You know, it was chaotic. And I was with Eddie, and I turned my head. I saw one person that I recognized, and boom, we're on phone calls, Discord, where each other is. Oh, come and find me there. So that was the one thing. Like, it was super chaotic. There was so many people everywhere, and just getting in and out and just literally just moving was a struggle. So that's the one thing I would say. Beyond that, like, insane conference. And Token 2049 itself, I really loved all the features they did. They had zip lining at a conference, like in the middle of the conference. I did the zip lining, and like it goes over everything and you can see everything going on. That was just so cool. Just so much that they put into it. I did the base jumps, almost like a bungee jumping type of thing. And I was just like appalled. Last year that I was there, they had animals and they just, go above and beyond. So Dubai fashion, they did this conference. So I thought it was.
So yeah, they had a lot of things you don't see at other conferences. So Josh was very excited about the zip line, which was great, but it was like so hot outside, so it was kind of painful to get up there.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, it felt like Nigeria heat. Like, it was ridiculous.
Yeah, as soon as you got out there, it just hit you in the face, man. It was just so intense.
It literally got so hot that our cameras started overheating without even doing anything. Just being out there, it was like 40 degrees Celsius. So definitely not for everybody. But I'd rather be hot than be cold. That's more close to my natural climate. So it was fine for me, but I know a lot of people were struggling in that heat.
Right. So because they even had booths outside and they had a stage. I didn't know there was another stage outside. I didn't make it out to that one.
Nah. I didn't check that one out either. It's just too hot. You have to stay inside. That's one thing with Dubai. It's like AC is everything. So you want to be indoors as often as you can. Like, you can only be outside for like 20 minutes at a time during the conference. Already so much people moving around. So definitely want to stay cool. That was the one thing. Now, what was your favorite booth or your favorite part of Token 2049?
All right, that's going to sound terrible, but Dippin' Dots. I really like Dippin' Dots, and I was surprised they had that. I was like, oh, this is a very rare thing. I don't see this in malls anymore. This is very hard to get. I saw some Dippin' Dots. I went for it. Now, if you're not familiar with Dippin' Dots, it's kind of like this tiny freeze-dried pellet ice cream where, it kind of holds its shape until you start eating it. And I'm like, all right, I got some Dippin' Dots.
Yeah, no, fair to say. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything crypto related. It was the Dippin' Dots. That goes to show, man.
Yeah, so it was a good experience for that.
After you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so it's good to have these experiences. Token 2049, though, mostly for industry type people, for more maybe traditional finance, for more infrastructure stuff, not for retail investors, except for all the exchanges, which had great booths and great activities. But if you are a retail investor, that wasn't quite your scene.
I feel like, in my defense of that, I feel like that's kind of the vibe with most conferences, and even SUI Basecamp, geared more towards business. Business relationships are initiated. It's networking event a lot of the time as a retail user, but it's more geared towards meeting people who will help advance, or you can partner with to help each other advance their crypto operation, their media company, their YouTube channel, their project. So I feel like overall it's kind of
Yeah,
for that anyway, to be
that's true. It
honest.
was great for us. We met a lot of interesting
Yeah,
people, builders, developers, other content creators.
exactly.
Now, but the vibe between Token 2049 and SUI Basecamp was much different.
Yeah. Okay, now in retrospect, how would you describe that vibe, or let's say for retail users, at Basecamp versus at 2049?
At Basecamp, you know what you're getting into. If you're a retail user, as soon as you walk in, you see like the SUI play, you see some gaming, you go into the
Yeah.
booths, you see all the stuff you can actually interact with on chain, but live in person. So you can get a better grasp
Yeah.
of like, all right, what's this product? How does it work? How do I use it? And you got someone there live to give you those answers.
Demos, lots of live things you can play around with. Like they had a SUI play that you could actually play with a game loaded, with like a upcoming game loaded. I think like that's more interesting for retail. You could talk to some of the founders and teams about like, yo, man, when's TGE, when's the airdrop? Kind of try to get some alpha. They might actually just tell you things like that being at the conferences. So I can see what you mean there as far as those things. And like you mentioned, you walk in right away, you see Lo-Fi, the Yeti in the costume right there, taking pictures with the community and different things like that. That makes you feel like, if you're a member of the SUI community and ecosystem, a lot of recognizable things that you can see right away. And so that's a fair point there. Things we got to actually participate in the fest voting. So pretty much reviewing SUI projects coming out, and me and fun reviewing a lot of these. We have something fun for you guys planned out for all you who watched our Dragon Ball stream. There's gonna be something fun with that to talk about some new ones, projects that I wasn't aware of, that maybe a lot of you weren't aware of, coming out on SUI. Some that are actually like pretty well funded and have some really great value propositions that we got some early alpha in, and we got to see drop a pitch on us. So I think that's going to be something really cool to share with the audience.
Yes, absolutely. It was really hard to be nice on some of those projects because they were definitely not going to work. They've been tried before, they failed. They're the type of projects that have that great idea, but in practice, no one is going to use it. So they raise a lot of money and exit. So those are the ones we want to be very careful about.
100%. And I'm really excited to share that with you. There's like a big scale. So anytime you're seeing like a pitch, like, a brand new pitch, like it's a broad scale. There's some that we gave like a 10, and there's some that we damn near gave 10 out of 10, right? You see bangers, and you see, people are throwing stuff at the wall, early stage projects and early stage initiatives and ideas that they're trying to bring to life. Very cool to see, startups and among, the road projects out there. So it's cool to get, a scope, and it gives you kind of a better understanding of even existing projects and how to look at crypto, right? And evaluate projects to get into early potentially.
Yes, because we brought our buddy Eddie along. He's more retail. He's not like deep into crypto because, he has a full-time job. He runs a business and he doesn't have the time to look into these projects that have failed before. So, he liked one of the projects I gave a 1 out of 10 to. I was like, why'd you like that? He's like, oh yeah, it sounds like a great idea. I was like, oh man, they've done this idea like at least 10 different times, and it's failed so many times.
Yeah. And that's why I like to call the Web 2 lens, right? You can look at things from a Web 2 lens versus the Web 3 lens, which, you know, I'd like to say we're Web 3 natives versus, you know, people who are crypto. You might see a project and it may look good on the surface through a Web 2 lens a little while, and you kind of see how this type of thing plays out. You judge it a little differently. So that's a cool thing, you know, that we'll be able to talk about too when it comes to, I think.
Yes. Josh, any chance we can improve your internet a little? We are getting a little bit of lag and delay.
You're getting lag? You're getting it too?
A little bit, yeah. So they say it might be on your side. So I just want to make sure. For me, I had to open my door to make sure the Wi-Fi connection is a little bit higher because I live in Taiwan and all the buildings are concrete, so the Wi-Fi doesn't travel that well. So opening the door actually helps the connection.
That's super annoying. I'm going to try to get on that right now. Hold on. Is it just me or is Josh laggy? I swear with restream is just
Yeah, so I think that's the great part of recording on Riverside, just because even if there is some lag, we still have a high quality stream because it does a pretty good job of buffering. Oh, we got Hoser Mage. Josh, audio is clipping. I'm hearing that a little bit. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see Hoser Mage in Dubai. We've seen him in Hong Kong and Taiwan. Hopefully, we're going to see him again in Singapore. He's been cooking up some stuff. So check him out on X. Shout out to Hoser Mage. And
I'm gonna quickly pop off and pop back on.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna hold it down. So Pokemon on SUI. That is. It seems like that's happening. Like they haven't said it's not happening. They've been hinting at, you know, that this is one of the potential use cases, and they have all the products. So let's just break down what's been happening there. So Pokemon Home, I believe that is the app, mentioned in their terms of services that they're working with a company named Parasol. Now, Miston Labs recently acquired a company called Parasol that handles trading card games. They do digital collectibles. They do, you know, those gacha packs. Those, you open up a pack, you don't know what's going to be inside. They make that happen. So recently there was an announcement by Adenei from Miston Labs mentioning that there's going to be some upcoming updates, some upcoming partnerships and news, and that's what everyone is saying, that it's going to be Pokemon. And if it is Pokemon, that's massive. Now, not only has that been one of the things, hold on, we got Josh is back, we got another angle. There we go. Audio. Let me see, make sure the audio output is right. I'm not getting any on my side. There we go. Are you on your phone camera?
Yeah, I'm on my phone camera right now.
A little bit. It actually looks a lot better. It's skipping a little bit. It's the same
camera that I had last time.
Oh, okay. Like quality looks better, but little delay still. So just want to make sure your connection is good.
Delay. That's super annoying. I'm getting my connection, but I don't know. It's hit or miss when it comes to restream.
All right. So what kind of project was it? Well, if you're familiar with Napster and licensing music on chain, that's the type of project it was. And if you've seen what, you know, I've seen in crypto over the last 5 years, there's a project that does this every few months, and you know, it doesn't do well because no one wants to pay for that music, for that specific song on this random platform. Everyone stays on Spotify, everyone stays on Apple Music, and there's no way to generate revenue. I'm getting a little feedback on your side, Josh. Do you think the bull market is back? How long do you think it lasts? I'm worried about buying, then it goes back down. That is a very good worry, just because the markets are a bit unpredictable. Now, what really pumped the markets was this trade deal. Oh man, this trade deal here. So there was a trade deal with the UK, tariffs, pausing tariffs. So basically, they're looking at some relief from US markets from tariffs and potentially better trades because they kind of hyped up massive tariffs. Now, this could be very, very short term because we still don't know what's going to happen with China, US's biggest trading partner, and that's where they get all their stuff. But there's some other important things happening in crypto that we also have to look at. So I'm going to zoom in here. Stripe launched stablecoins in 100 plus countries. That means you can pay for services through Stripe with stablecoins, which is pretty massive. Ramp launched stablecoin cards, so you can have like a debit or credit card with a stablecoin. Superstate launched on-chain equities. So this is a very, very interesting thing that I've been following. Superstate from, if you know Robert Reich from the chopping block, he's been one of the biggest people promoting it. Basically, it's a path to getting listed on the New York Stock Exchange where maybe a company can start. I'm not the best at describing this. I'm going to bring that up in a second, and we're going to bring Josh back in. But these are some interesting news. There you go. There you go, Josh.
Sounded.
It's we'll give it. We'll let it catch up for a second.
All right.
Do you got me on the TV too? Because I got some feedback.
You got some feedback?
Here we go. Here we go. A little better, yeah. Much better. But I still
Better?
hear myself in the background a little bit.
Let me fix that.
So let me get back into this part. Robert Leshner. There we go. I don't know why I said Robert Reich. I think he's the economist. But Robert Leshner, by partnering with Superstate, companies will start trading on Solana or Ethereum and then get uplisted to the New York Stock Exchange or NASDAQ. So that is some massive news. We could see a lot of crypto adoption if this happens because, you know, stocks, they only trade several hours a day. They could be trading 24/7. This creates another opportunity for companies to get listed. So pretty bullish on that for traditional finance. Robinhood is building their own crypto platform. Also big because they have, I don't know, the most amount of young users that are willing to try crypto. Big deal in crypto history. Coinbase and Deribit, I guess they have a partnership. Meta is back in the stablecoin game. Ethereum has shipped a massive upgrade, so Ethereum is scaling, and Bitcoin has got past $100,000. So right now we are bullish on the entire crypto market, but that's short term. Only the quality projects will continue to pump because the low quality ones are gonna cash out and take this, use this as an exit pump, as we've seen before. So that's just a little warning there.
Before.
Yes.
History does not always repeat itself, but it definitely rhymes. By the way, how's the audio?
Better quality overall, looking much better.
All right.
All good. All good.
I guess I don't know. I'm not sure what's wrong with it. Bars say it's fine on my side, but then here on Restream it says 6 out of 10. But yeah, man, you know, the quality, cream rises to the top. What's that famous saying? Right? Just like in coffee and everything like that. So as we've seen through this past pullback, it's nice to finally see some green days coming in here. Goes to show you see what's holding up strong, like SUI had actually down and things like that. You want to look for projects showing relative strength when the roads get rocky. And then now when things get, you know, more bullish, it's clear to see, you know, the winners. And like as you mentioned, weak projects, a lot of the founders cashing out, and you see a lot of them use that exit pump, you know, to go ahead and get some liquidity out before they pretty much die. So definitely one thing to watch out for.
I don't want to call you out, but Kathy's Wood is calling you out. People from the Sui dynasty roll in the graves every time somebody pronounces Sui.
Oh man, still, I can't help it. You guys have been on me for this. Especially Kathy.
Every time, but it's good. I'm glad you're here. Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah. Sweet. But yeah, I can't help it. I think it's just because of the Ronaldo Sui.
I think it's all good. We're all on the same team here.
What are you looking at now that the markets are starting to pump? We could see some all up? Are you looking at anything underneath?
Let's see. I'm still bullish on the SUI ecosystem. I know that's going to continue growing. I actually um, took a little loan out with SUI Land to get a little more SUI. So
Okay,
I'm like 1.3x leverage, if anything. Nothing too
nice.
crazy. I'm dabbling in some smaller projects like Name Service, SUI Name Service, NS,
Okay,
Deep Book. Walrus, I think, got a lot of attention. But I think the attention is shifting to the smaller projects that people want like to be early to or that didn't get that recent pump. So Walrus, we're gonna have to wait and see because everything kind of moves together right now, and it's hard to pick
yeah.
out like who's gonna win. So we don't know who's gonna be right or wrong, but this is the opportunity. Like you want to ride the momentum, you want to stick to the quality projects that continue building and continue growing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, fair to say. Do you play anything term, any sort of quick narratives that you're starting to see emerge? We have a lot of hype waves that come and go in crypto, but the way to win in them is to spot them early and to take advantage of them early. Are you seeing anything out there that could be like the next sort of, we had AI agents, SocialFi, all these different things. What do you think is next?
So right now it's too hard to determine because the entire market pumped. Even
Right.
even things that look pretty dead. The only thing that actually went down in the last 24 hours that I'm tracking is
Pi.
Layer. Oh, Pi
Okay.
went down too. Okay.
Yeah, did it? I don't know. I'm always hitting on Pi.
Yeah, but that's not something I'd short right now. We're in a
Yeah,
bull
yeah,
market. Take advantage of these pumps. Ride it
yeah.
out. Momentum is everything. Where
Mhm.
fundamentals don't matter. Fundamentals really don't matter. Like we got the momentum right now, and that could change very quickly. So every time you are trading actively or investing, you have to kind of look at these trends. Once Bitcoin starts pumping, that brings up everything in the market, and that creates a lot of momentum.
Yes. Yes. So the famous saying goes, the trend is
Yes.
your friend. So you definitely want to be riding the momentum, riding the trends, pretty much just said. And you want to be next, narrative if you are, playing the narratives and what's hot at the moment. So I'm kind of keeping an eye out for that. We're bound to see anytime we see Bitcoin pump the way it did, we're back over 100K. It usually has a good ripple effect underneath. People are calling that alt season is finally ready to start. So you
Hmm.
definitely want to start positioning yourself early before things really take off, if they do, and if this isn't a fake out. So definitely watching close for that.
Right. So one of the lessons I learned is don't invest in small market cap projects because you'll see like, oh, this narrative, like, oh, AI agents, this was pumping. Like, let me jump in the smallest AI agent. I was like, that's burned me before.
Right.
That's happened with Filecoin. I remember in the past, Filecoin was like pumping like crazy. Everyone started piling in the smaller
Yeah.
decentralized storage projects. There was so much hype, and
Right.
those founders just exited. They just bolted. So you have to be careful. You have to know who's building. We got Sid here from VRAM. I've seen him in Taiwan. uh, his family, this guy's building, he's hustling, he's starting from the ground up. Now the difference between a small project and a small project with VCs is that the small project wants to survive. If you have VCs, they want to exit as fast as possible.
Yeah, exactly. As we've seen, I
Now,
won't say I won't say it's impossible. We definitely have all been burnt getting into some small market cap plays, but it's all a matter of a few different factors. Doing really good research, backing really good, legit teams, and of course, timing when the time that you do go ahead and get involved. There definitely are some opportunities, but mind you, guys, it's very hard to spot really good low caps and actually, But yeah, it's still some big opportunities there though.
yeah. Now I
And
gotta tell
doing
this
things that we did.
story. I got to tell this story
Okay.
from Dubai. So I went to the Shard Dubai marketing conference, And they had lots of very interesting panels about marketing and VCs and investing. And this was like the most alpha I got from the panel from all of Dubai, just because I want to understand what VCs are doing. I want to understand what founders are doing. I want to understand what marketers are doing, because there's a bigger piece than just looking at a white paper at what a product does. We want to understand what everyone else is trying to do behind the scenes, because if you don't, that's how you lose. That's how your investment goes to zero.
Yeah,
Now
I mean,
there was this. Oh, sorry. But there was this one lady there. She's a VC. She's like, I'd like to introduce one of my portfolio companies. They got us 100x, and we're investing with them for future projects. And then the guy introduces himself, and he says, yeah, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I founded this project called Entangle. And I'm like, I know Entangle. Entangle, that shit went to zero. And then he was talking about like, yeah, we raised 5 million. It went to a $2.7 billion market cap. And then we didn't really have the runway to continue. But now I have millions of dollars and I'm investing in other companies. I now have my own VC fund. I'm like, you son of a bitch.
He exposed himself.
They were flexing.
So he flexed, basically abandoning a project, getting a bunch of, now I got my own VC, we're lit, so like we see right through that. That's not really a flex. And the people who's been in the game knows that. So what happened to the people who were Entangle believers at 2 billion, who bought it at 2 billion, and now they're seeing you right here saying, yeah, man, wasn't really working out. We didn't have the runway, but hey, I got these M's now and I have a VC. So that's quite a bold statement. I'm surprised he put that out like that, the way he delivered that. That's interesting. Has a lot of people thinking like yourself, like, well, what happened to Entangle?
Yeah, so everyone that was in the room were kind of like marketers or builders, not investors, because if it was like maybe token or something, you probably hear the crowd, someone just yell, hey man, fuck you. Just like, what the hell?
Exactly. Exactly. And I had a similar experience, right? There was another founder. What was that project? We saw him at that one conference. He was from one of those Forks.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Wonderland. And he was there talking about a brand new. I was like, wow, that's so bold. Same thing, he dropped projects. And so when you our teams past experience in crypto, and you hear them say, oh yeah, like we've launched 4 or 5 projects, like what happened to those projects, right? They had holders at some point. They had investors at some point. You just leave them alone, abandon them, or as they call nowadays, CTO, community takeover. And
that's the worst.
Yeah. So it just seems a little bit shady.
Yeah, imagine you have a McDonald's and then like everyone just leaves. Like, all right, community takeover. Like, you're on prize. You're on the register. We're gonna do this. Like, no, you're not. That project's dead.
And those CTOs happen every time after the team or the founder has already taken out a couple $1 million or a substantial amount of money. Hey guys, we've washed our hands clean. We leave it to the community to drive this forward. It's a community initiative now. Escape route to cashing out your project and starting something new to make more money. Watch out for those and do your research on teams where you can. If the team's not on, if you can go ahead and see what they're doing, it's very important, because you don't get they leave behind for another project, right?
Right. So we got a comment here. Entangle website UX goes crazy. So we got to check it out. First off, Entangle, it's rare to see 100%. Hold on.
Whoa. It says 100%.
It says 100%. Oh my God.
Oh, no.
It's not even 99.9%. It's 100% down.
Total loss.
Yeah, it's just like devastating. So let's check out the website. Oh, it's brutal, man. But they have a nice website. So nice websites can be absolutely deceiving. Build scale on the infinite web. Yeah, it's. Oh my God. I'm surprised they even have the website up. It's just all shame. It should just all be shame here.
Oh, it's a nice site. You're right.
So don't be fooled. Nice site means they're exiting. I'm going to say that now. Nice site. They're investing in marketing to you.
I wonder how much they spent, and I wonder how much exactly they extracted before they left
it had to be a lot.
Because I remember seeing as an airdrop farmer, I was covering it as an airdrop farmer, as like one of the airdrop, and it's crazy to now see after completely, basically, almost dissolved. The founders have left, and they're talking about new projects.
Right.
So it's a lesson
essentially,
out there,
no one
as
uses
good
this.
as a project might look.
Yeah, it looks great, but you realize like, oh, no one's using this, no one's building on this. There's no value to it, and the real opportunity is to short. It's just to short, just because. God, it's very rare to see 100%. By the way,
you've never seen that like that, unless it's like a pure rug. That's like
full
rug
exit.
numbers.
Yeah.
That's rug numbers.
It's a pretty slow rug. Yeah. So think of this as a long-term meme coin.
Yeah, pretty much. And so that just bled to pretty much zero. That is zero.
That is zero.
Went to zero.
So
it went to zero.
So even in this current market, like I wouldn't try gambling on this. It's abandoned.
Oh nah. When you have the founder and the team themselves saying, "Yeah, we've left that behind. We're moving on," and that tells you everything you need to know. You should too. You should have before they did.
Yeah. So watch. Actually, you should look for those because that is the opportunity to short. And even though we were kind of in a bull market, that doesn't move these projects that are rugging.
No, it doesn't. And the saying back in the day used to be a rising tide lifts all ships. And it is true for, I guess, some of the main ecosystem projects. But now there's so much saturation in crypto where that may not be the case for every project. You mentioned the project that was down regardless of things pumping. And the markets don't behave as they used to in the last few cycles. So definitely you got to be vigilant with that stuff.
Yes. All right. We got a few different things. Can't trust teams either, like the CEO of Movement. Oh yeah, there was a lot of drama on that. Did you follow what happened with Movement?
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit while we were in Dubai eating Din Tai Fung. When you were kind of giving me the synopsis, the crime chain, crime chain of the season. And can you enlighten everyone on that? I didn't do like diligence, but I heard there's a ton of manipulation for the most part.
Absolutely. So let me just bring up some tweets just so it's not just my word. I'm going to bring that up in a second. While I'm loading that up, if you want to share. Actually, no, I'll have it up in a second.
If I want to share what?
Well, I thought our chat was pretty good at Din Tai Fung. I thought that was some interesting points, but we'll say we got the video. Video looks pretty good.
You're talking about the story time from Din Tai Fung?
Story time. We'll save that story time for now.
We'll say that. Okay, we'll say that. We have some funny stuff for you guys.
Okay, so Movement Labs has recently terminated Rushi Manch. So this is an update from just 2 days ago. Okay. Details on leadership changes come in. Movement Foundation signed a deal loaning 50% of its current circulating ecosystem supply to Web3 Port Labs. The day after Move debuted on exchanges, account links to that account dumped 66 million tokens, and the token was worth like several dollars. So that was like in the hundreds of millions. CoinDesk obtained the contracts and much more. Wow. So they got scammed by this market maker. That's what it looks like. Why does every month, this is by Zach XBT, why does every month only seem to bring more new drama for Movement Labs? And that's regarding that same thing about the market maker scamming them. Movement Labs has terminated co-founder Rushi Manch's decision. So right now he got axed, but I don't know if he's been the fall guy. So there's been some speculations that, other people set him up to take the fall. And, I don't know all the information, so I don't want to pile on to his situation.
Right.
But it's not good. No, the project isn't going to survive because if they have no money to continue building, if no one's using the chain, if there are better alternatives, that's where users are going to go. Yeah,
man. Smoke, there's fire. You never want to see all of the diversity and all this FUD around the project. So it's the Wild West, even in the climate, even when things try to become more and more sophisticated and with sophisticated backers and VC involved. Smoke, there's fire. So I use these opportunities and black swan signs as an opportunity to shorts into the price of movement in regards to all this stuff happened, made it pretty quick. So yeah, I would just like to stay away from that. Anytime there's these red flags with the team or shady insider stuff going on, talk about market manipulation, working with other entities, hundreds of millions being transferred over, in a suspicious way. You just want to steer clear. People were extremely, and it also, goes to show, don't marry your bags in a lot of different times. There's people who were super bullish on Move, right? It was the first EVM using the Move language, right? Move EVM compatible Move language, and that actually sounds amazing. It sounds like really useful and good. But even a project like that, with all the hype and the KOLs that they onboarded that are super established and things like that, it still ended up being a project that going on. So it's a reminder to always keep an open mind. Never marry your bag. You saw what happened with FTX. They seem perfect. We had FTX Arena, right? The Miami Heat used to play. It was called. People would have thought, oh, there's no chance that of any kind.
100% scam.
And that's how people felt about things. 100% scam, right? That's how probably a lot of people felt with movement. There's great tech, a great value proposition, still some scam stuff going on and some shady business going on. So never marry your bags all the way.
Right. So I want to bring up two things. When you said narrative, I actually looked at my notes like, oh, yeah, there is a narrative that's kind of trending right now. It's called InfoFi, kind of following Kaito. Do you have any thoughts on that before I jump into some things regarding that?
Yeah, there's that one project that GiveRep. I just keep on seeing it everywhere on X. Are you involved in that?
Yes.
That sounds similar to that same. Would that be in that same category?
It would be in that same category. So if you're not familiar with Kaito, they are kind of like a research platform. They get insights and different trends, and they've launched this thing called Yaps.
Right.
Now, Yaps can be sponsored by different groups like Movement Labs, like Story Protocol, like Kaya. Those are just a couple that I saw recently. And they pay people to engage and tweet about the projects. Now, it's kind of unclear how to qualify for this because I've tweeted about some stuff before and I never got Yaps. But it's kind of like a marketing tool. So now some people are thinking the trend is going to be InfoFi, where you provide information and you get paid for it. I honestly don't think that's super sustainable, because just because you provide information, you yap about it. Polkadot had some yaps there. That doesn't bring users to Polkadot. They're just burning more money, right?
Yeah. I guess it depends on where the project is. I think it could be quite useful in bringing users if it's like, brand new early alpha project and you see a lot of people talking about it. It's like, I don't want to miss out on something that's potentially brand new. Maybe there could be either a big airdrop or I can get in early to something that could be strong. A lot of new projects get, more exposure and awareness around their project, like a dinosaur.
Right.
Project. I don't think that's really moving the needle.
So my concern is that a lot of projects that aren't really building, that just want marketing and hype, are absolutely going to pay a lot for this kind of service, which might make it an opportunity to short. That could be the signal for that. And additionally, for creating this type of thing where, you connect your X account, you tweet about it, you earn points that can be redeemed for something else. There isn't a lot of moats to that, like another project can start something up very similar very quickly. And then we're going to have the pump fund of just people making noise on the timeline to farm and engage and just talk about anything and copy other existing tweets just to get these points instead of real users, instead of real products. So that is one of my concerns about InfoFi.
Very good concern. I mean, that's very, very true. There's a lot of bot activity when it comes to potentially result in an airdrop. Lots of cyborgs. People will hit it from multiple Twitter accounts. People will get automated stuff, bots, AI, to go ahead and tweet and game and farm a lot of these airdrops. That's like but I feel like it also still hand in hand when real users are on X and they keep on the same project pop up over and over and over. It was GiveRep. Every time I opened my timeline, I couldn't scroll that far without seeing something with GiveRep tagged into it. Shows that a lot of people are farming it. There could be some value there.
Yeah, that's a SUI project. That means you've been getting a lot of SUI tweets recently. So that's because you were at
Yeah,
SUI
yeah.
Basecamp. So your algorithm updated.
Yeah, but even some of my airdrop hunting homies from back in the day that weren't necessarily SUI native, that were just looking for the new hot thing, a lot of them still talking about give rep. But it's true that I've been getting into the SUI algorithm a lot more. SUI, don't kill me, guys.
Yeah.
SUI algorithm, from just even interacting with you and being at Basecamp and just exploring more SUI projects. I got into Hadel. I got the Hadel airdrop, a few different things, and I've been so. Yeah, I mean, I love it there. And are you farming give rep?
Not exactly. I got like 5 points, but people have thousands. That people are farming it like crazy. I met the founder. We got an interview with him, so
Yeah.
that'll be up soon once I catch up on
Oh,
things.
nice.
And I guess that's another thing to talk about.
Oh,
So for my personal channel, it's kind of hard to have interviews and stuff because they don't get engagement. They're not searchable. They're kind of hard. So we might be
yeah.
starting another platform for interviews, for live
Nice.
chats, and just to continue making content. Maybe working with a lot of other content creators in crypto just to get their thoughts or maybe even just reaction videos like we just watch together what people are creating on Twitter. So we're still working on what that might look like and maybe get some community thoughts on that. Should we announce this what we're working on this, Josh, or do we save that for another time?
I think we might have to save it a little bit. This is kind of
Okay.
just our first stream back since Dubai. We have this. I feel like it deserves a proper introduction, but I promise you guys, it's exciting.
All right, so that's something to watch. But let's move on to where there's smoke, there's fire. And I want to bring up some stuff again about Berachain. So let's just take a look at that. So this is a tweet from Keisha.
Okay.
And, the Berachain baddies have been getting some heat on Twitter recently. And right now we're seeing a little bit of distancing from the Bera baddies because Bera baddies did not raise 140 million. They're not VC funded. And Bera baddies is not Berachain. And that is emphasized here. So what do you think about the distancing? Is this a little, I feel like there's a little bit of smoke.
Oh, well, where there's smoke, there's fire. So she said, Keisha from Bera Baddies. I actually had the pleasure of interviewing her. I see her in every country at all these conferences now. She said, say it with me. Bera Baddies did not raise 140 million. Bera Baddies is not VC funded. And Bera Baddies chain. They literally have Bera in their name. Mm-hmm. And actually, to my knowledge, they were actually Berachain. But to what she's saying, that doesn't mean they're Berachain. Like they're not Berachain, they're their own thing, onboarding women into crypto, and they have their own initiative. I think that's how I'm reading it. Everyone kind of knows up in the Berachain ecosystem. I'm not sure she's trying to distance herself. I'm not sure if this is a little bit of a diss to Berachain. Is she saying they're not Berachain itself, right? Bera Baddies isn't Berachain itself. The performance of Berachain is separate than the Bera Baddies. They're doing their own thing. That's how I'm reading it. I wouldn't necessarily say they're saying, we're not on Berachain. They're saying they're not Berachain.
Right. They don't represent Berachain.
I don't have more insight past this tweet I'm looking at right now.
All right, so a couple more insights. There's been some wrong announcements like this. Berachain raised over $100 billion. Well, that's Berachain, not Bera Baddies, and spent them on, I'm not going to say that, but it's because they had some hype, they had a little too much hype, right? They were trying to show off the rooms, which is fine. I don't have a problem with this video, but a lot of people had problems with this video.
Yeah, you got to be careful flexing in crypto. You got to look. Yeah, you got the stacks of cash on the table. You got the man.
I don't think that was real money, though, right? Yeah, those are fake stacks.
Prop money.
Yeah, that's prop money. Money. Yeah,
I guess even just the aesthetics of
but
it, people don't.
Yeah, we're in crypto. We know a lot of things happen in yachts and mansions and penthouse bars and stuff like that. So it's not surprising that they want to show what's happening. A lot of people flex with watches and cars and stuff. Now, we've also seen some stuff online where people are showing some of the pain. They staked around $5,000 worth of ETH for 5 months, and the reward they got was 5 Bera tokens worth $13, which, not great, not great. Yeah.
Nice.
So, they've been catching some
Nice.
heat. Digits Capital. I lost millions on Berachain after making millions on the NFTs. Most traders only talk about the wins. Yeah,
Digits.
Digits, dude. Digits is big.
Digits is talking about
Yeah.
it. He's been huge on Barrett. He's an OG. He was like accumulating, like
Right.
he was buying bong bears for like tens of thousands of dollars from early. And now, if you know about the bear, worth like over $1 million. By the time the airdrop came out, Digits has been super early. He has Digits DAO. Digits Capital is the guy, and he has Digits DAO. And the DAO has been just accumulating tons of Berachain NFTs before the Berachain airdrop. So I'm surprised to see that. I guess he lost even more money, or that he lost money somehow, because literally that he had like one of the craziest trades ever just from holding all those bears and even just getting to TGE Berachain. If I was him, to be honest, I probably would have exited there, because that ROI must have been insane. But I guess
Yeah.
I won't call it drinking the Kool-Aid, but he truly believed, the proof of liquidity. And after that, they executed really well for so long, I guess, before game. But that also goes to show you can't marry
Right.
your. He could have had a good trade. I would have exited the top. Crazy to see Bear baddies and to see Digits Capital, some of the OG
Yeah, it
Bears
seems
kind
like,
of aren't necessarily positive.
Yeah.
Like you said, where there's smoke, there's
It feels
fire,
like smoke.
right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
there's
yeah. Like
definitely
they're
feels like
distancing.
smoke.
Yeah.
Now there comes a time where the music stops. Anytime there's something that's a little bit Ponzi-nomic style, or some extreme yield, there's usually a time limit on this stuff, and that's kind of the vibe Berachain was going for, with proof of liquidity and some of these rewards and these different mechanisms. Some say Ponzi-nomics. Some say they had some of the cleanest Ponzi-nomics. I don't want to diss it calling that, but and there comes a time where, like, I guess the music stops, sort of deal. You start seeing the smoke start to arise. Definitely feels like that with some of the people that I see talking negative about Berachain, who were some of the believers. So I mean, do what you will with that info. That's not bullish in my eyes. What do you?
I see, I see them distancing. I see that as a negative. Even though the markets picked up and Bera started picking up, I feel like they wouldn't have tweeted this if it was like a week later, right? If it was a week later and markets were all positive, everyone's in the green, they would not have tweeted it. But the timing of it is a little unfortunate, and now we have doubts in what's going on there.
Yeah, we do. At the same time, I've been seeing like some extremely negative Berachain tweets from day one of Berachain, like from when there were NFTs, and a lot of them being literally parody and looking very real. So I mean, they don't take themselves very, 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 very serious, but a lot of the time it's parody. So I would take a lot of these things with a grain of salt, but definitely tread lightly. Anytime there's been a project where lots of people have made a lot of money, you definitely want to tread lightly, watch your entry. There's people looking for exits. There's people who are exiting after, a certain cool off or place. And you definitely want to be careful with that. So I would never rush in. Take your time, look at the ecosystem, and look under the hood. Take your time to look under the hood. Some of the biggest people who are involved and who have what their sentiment is, just like you're seeing with Bear baddies, you definitely want to look further into that. Maybe join some of the communities are saying, and then give yourself a more clear scope before you decide if you want to ape into something, or allocate a portion of your portfolio or your capital into it, or maybe see where you can potentially get a good entry or short or whatever it is that you want to do. Make sure you get a good look under the hood first. All right, we got Mr. Jester. Seed round investors are still way up on Bera, taking the cash now and running. Since I'm not the admin, I can't pin your comment here, but it's true. Seed round investors are still way up on Bera, taking the cash now and running. I definitely would say the number one issue with Bera was the fact that they had so much VC exposure and from a very, very early stage and from a very low price. So that, in my opinion, has been the sort of the one defining negative factor or have going for them. Now I know there's been talks of the Berachain team smoking them to buy back a lot of these allocations. What that means, I know the relation. What that means, reclaim that. But one thing, and it's easy to start, seeing FUD and different things start to come out there when early VCs are exiting. The price goes down. It's just how it goes. A lot of VCs will even short while they dump on chain, short on sex while they dump on DEX, right? That's like kind of like an old strategy for VCs and people with a lot of exposure, and that can bring the price down. That's when you start to see negative tweets go up. You start to see FUD go up, and you never want that to spiral. So I hope they're doing some good damage control or, getting a soft landing. We saw that they pumped. I'm not out on Berachain per se, but definitely at these levels because there's still more unlocks for still VC involvement. It's still VC dominated as far as exposure and allocation. That closely, watch for unlock schedules and things like that. I would say. What are your thoughts, Dan? Would you be doing right now if you had exposure in the? Would you be looking for a good exit, an exit pump? Or would you just kind of what the sentiment is?
I'd be buying SUI, man. I just like, oh, it's time to move to SUI. It's time to broaden my horizons. It's time to look for something that continues building.
Yeah, definitely. I say the spotlight is on SUI next. If I was an early Berachain guy, I've known about Berachain from early, but I didn't get a bong bear or anything. But if I was a bong bear guy early, like my boy Mr. Jester said, seed round investors are still way up on Bera, and anyone who was involved in the NFTs from early you're definitely still up handsomely on Bera. What I would be doing anytime things look a little shaky, you look for the next potential next Bera, the next thing up, or the next big wave. And we're seeing the hype and the community sentiment around SUI, and it's amazing. It was cool to see it in person as well, being at Basecamp, and just even just go on X and see how passionate the SUI community is, and just even just the quality of the chain and the quality of the products and games that are coming out. That would have me thinking, okay, let me see what's next up. You don't have to take all of your gains from Bera and do this, but definitely you can start allocating into new things is what I would be doing. I would still keep a little bit of exposure in it, but that's just me.
So I wanted to also mention sentiment. You talked about that, and that's actually the most important thing in crypto short term. It's what people think about it. So it could be an absolutely trash project. If sentiment is good, that thing's pumping no matter what. And that is one of the hardest things to navigate, because I remember in the Retail DAO Discord when a lot of these new AI agents were propping up, and they were like maybe $50,000, $500,000 market cap. And they asked, other people were asking me my opinion on it, and I was like, well, this doesn't really do anything. This is like a very hypothetical situation, and I missed out. But their sentiment was super excited about it. So you kind of have to look at the majority. If the majority of people think it's good, it's gonna pump.
Yeah, well said. Well said. Community is everything. Community, everything. No community, no project. No community, no pump. And then community sentiment goes hand in hand with that. So I think you nailed that on the head. How the community is really feeling, and how what the story, the current story behind the project or a token is, right? And that's, in my opinion, the best way to trade. Seeing where the sentiment is, what has the hype right now, where the energy is flowing to.
So, I mean, that's what I got. As we're kind of at an hour, about an hour right now. I got a few other things to chat about. What are your thoughts, Josh?
I'm here, man. I had a great nap. I've been recovering for the last 2 days from the Dubai trip.
Okay.
I got a lot of sleep in, but I'm good for whatever. We can run it again tomorrow. There's a lot of more to talk about that could take us easily. So I mean, we could wrap it up here. We could keep on going for a bit of stuff. We hit surface.
Yeah, I feel like we should save some ammo for tomorrow and keep these streams like still a little digestible at about an hour.
Yeah. I agree.
All,
It's a lot to kind of.
Absolutely. All right, everybody. This was great. Catch us again in maybe 24, 22 hours, something like that. And I think the weekends are better for most people.
Yeah, and stay tuned for, what we've been kind of hinting at and teasing at. More on that later.
That could be tomorrow. So stick around.
Make sure you tune in, guys. Everyone. Thank you for joining us. And thank you for having me, Dan. As always, it's a pleasure. It's your boy, GPT Josh, signing out. Peace.
Later, everyone. Follow Josh on social